To the critics, these were one of the best things that could happen to the already exhausted world of horror in an era where quality horror in cinema is becoming scarce. Modern literature came to save this genre. Not in vain, I think it's not daring to say that many of the best experiences with horror in recent times we've had reading or listening to creepypastas, and the characters we will see in this top are our Frankenstein, our werewolves, and our modern-era monsters. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me a lot on this new journey, and I'll be bringing more top content for you. Top 5. Jeff the Killer is a very successful character, and just by looking at his face, we can guess why he's quite terrifying, and he's even the protagonist of his own Screamer, which, by the way, is one of the ones with the most victims on the net. His favorite phrase is "go to sleep," which is usually the last thing his victims hear before dying in a fit of coughing. The character itself may be inspired by Jeffrey Dahmer, a real-life serial killer. Jeff the Killer was born in 2008, the creation of a YouTuber named Zeus, who uploaded a video which I advise you to watch with low volume. From there, the character became a collaborative effort, with many talented writers contributing to Jeff's legend, a character who started his adventures as a loving brother who, due to a series of tragic events, became a terrifying killer with a long list of victims. Top 4. Slenderman is perhaps the most popular character of creepypastas, but not the scariest. However, even if he's not the scariest or the most dangerous, that doesn't mean he's not terrifying and extremely lethal when he wants to be. Perhaps what's most frightening about Slenderman is that his motives are never clear. It's not known if he has a mission or if he's simply a paranormal creature. Occasionally, he opens doors to this world and explores certain people he chooses capriciously out of simple curiosity, often causing havoc on their mental health. Slenderman can cause severe distortions in memory, insomnia, paranoia, coughing fits, distort photographs or cameras near his presence, teleport, and drive his victims to the point of suicide. He can alter his size, measuring over 3 meters tall, elongate his arms, and his face is basically non-existent. Without a doubt, a very powerful being. If he's disguised as a human, it's probably because he's simply trying to imitate certain customs of this world and its inhabitants in a very bad attempt not to appear completely alien. Slenderman was born in 2009 within a Photoshop manipulation contest on the Something Awful forums. The results were so terrifying that they disturbed the audience, achieving the goal of its creator, Mr. Eric Lux. From then on, the character came to life in the minds of thousands of users, even having its own internet series. Top 3. Smile.jpg, also known as Smile Dog, is by far one of the most horrible characters of all the grim imposters that exist. The reason is simple: you don't exactly understand his motives. He just ruins the lives of a newlywed couple to the point where he tears the woman to pieces through unspeakable nightmares, and the husband, a man devastated by the terrible loss and the anecdotes that scarred his life. Smile.jpg is simply a photo that can drive you mad. Whoever sees the original version of it, if the character itself weren't terrifying enough, there are quite curious details in the photo that serve only to play with the mind of the unfortunate one who looks at it. But the worst part of this matter is that Smile Dog has no reason to do what he does. He's simply evil and extremely harmful. Anyone who sees him risks dying in a very slow and terribly painful way, not only for the victim who will be the subject of incurable mental illnesses, but also for their loved ones. The origin of this character is still unknown. Top 2. It's impressive that the Rake, in its Spanish translation, has been among us for over 8 years, being one of the Creepypasta's most terrifying characters, and yet he's not openly known. Perhaps it's better that way. In fact, it's one of the things that's most frightening about this terrible being, from which you'll soon know much more, believe me. He's described as a horrible creature with humanoid features and gray towards enormous black eyes and fingers that earned him that name. The most fascinating thing is that he's not a simple creature. He's not an animal. The Rake is, in fact, very intelligent. He's capable of speaking, and not only that, he often gives orders to his victims, forbidding them from stepping on a certain place, ordering them to leave, or simply killing anyone. No matter if they're children, for some secret mission that's beyond our human understanding. And you want to know the worst part? The Rake has been doing this for centuries, so it's quite accurate to say that he's an immortal being. When you see him, you feel a brutal sense of unease, and if he appears to you once, you can be completely sure that he'll be watching you forever, especially while you sleep. Top 1. The first of this top are not only in my opinion the most terrifying beings of all the creepypastas there have been, but also the most powerful. Their origin is unknown. Their terrible influence not only extends in this world already condemned by the mere prophecy of their future arrival, but also to alternate dimensions. So they will not only ruin your life, but also the lives of many others in other parallel worlds. They have turned entire planets into true hells. They have made realities that are beyond the worst collective nightmares come true. They have caused horrors infinitely worse than the most atrocious of the imagination of the most sadistic and perverse man that can ever exist. They have caused pain in countless victims that is impossible to describe. They have caused madness from which there is no turning back. They are capable of making you immortal just to make you suffer for eternity with things that not even in the imagination of the main demon of any religion could fit. They are feared by the entire universe, feared in other universes, and they are the great protagonists of the longest creep ever created. From Golders, by its translation, the carriers. I'll tell you exactly what they are is very difficult. You have to read it, and read this review is complete, which is divided into many micro-stories that are generally formulaic in nature, and here it's almost like reading a book. But that's the only way you'll understand why they're so terrible. I'll just tell you that they are of extraterrestrial origin and to dimension, and that above all else the objects that each carrier protects should never be put together. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and have nice cryptic dreams.